Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Lori from Tiori, and today we're playing the game called Nusantara, so let's get this thing started again. What is this? What is this? My feet bumped into a small pouch under the cluster of ashes. When I checked what was inside, I found 3 small circular things with some kind of fuse on each of them. Are these? Those are what Purba made for the warriors. He made them? Yes, he made them not long ago. I was confused when he gave warriors those, saying it would be useful, but I was not expecting those tiny balls to explode. Again, I felt dread when I heard about how cunning and smart Purba was. It was a wonder how he managed to make this thing on his own. Check the tiny bombs, and overall, they look to be miraculously I don't know what that means or what that says. I don't want to make myself look like an idiot. I didn't know whether they could function or not, but there was no way to test one for them. For that, it was too dangerous. But it wouldn't hurt to keep them, right? It wouldn't be a bad thing if this fell into the wrong hands. Rexa looked at me curiously when I pocketed them in a small pouch. I pocketed the small pouch with the small bombs in it. But he didn't object or say anything, though. Yay, doing some laundry! The next day, warriors and villagers alike woke up from the crack of dawn, and I loved the music. The silence was kind of bad. But there was no sign of Ashy or Yuta. I haven't seen them since yesterday, and I grew worried, deciding it would not be wise to search for them blindly, and leaving Granny alone in the process. I waited for them at the front porch. As I sat there waiting, I couldn't help but notice how the avians worked very hard. They took painstaking attention to details, such as how many arrows they had, the amount of supplies ready to be used, the amount of emergency rations needed just in case, and even recycling unused knives into new ones. They went all out to be ready as soon as possible, working fully from morning to afternoon. Yet Mitra seemed to be unsatisfied. He stood there in the middle of the working avians, keeping track of the progress with a critical eye, occasionally receiving reports, and sometimes throwing new orders. If you asked them how many times the workers had yawned, you would probably know. "Sir, the survey group has just returned," a warrior announced. Following right behind him were 3 avians. One had an arrow planted on his leg, while the other 2 looked dirty with mud covering their bodies. One of them whispered something to Mitra, and he nodded a few times before patting the man on his shoulder. He gestured something to the villagers, and shortly 2 healers came to aid the injured one, while the other 2 meshed into the working crowd. And I guess they haven't came yet. A few hours later, Mitra visited me briefly. Tired? Of course not. We just started. Really? Maybe you should take it a little easy. You look like you haven't gotten any sleep. True enough, contradicting his words, Mitra had a faint shadows below his eyes, an indication of a lack of sleep. Well, I couldn't sleep last night, so I ended up planning things until morning. I shook my head disapprovingly, and he sighed. We need to get ready fast, but it might not be until 3 weeks or so. Even so, you need to remember to take care of your body. A warrior will not be much use if he has no strength to fight because of an empty stomach, or because he's tired. Wow, that rhymes. Misha chuckled at my self-induced amusement and I snapped back to focus. Anyways, I'll be keeping my eyes on you. I know it when you're not eating or sleeping. Yes, ma'am. I'll be counting on you to take care of the injured and the starved, he saluted. I smacked his arms lightly and shooed him outside to get something to eat since I haven't cooked dinner yet. Leftovers were out of question. A shame, really. Anyways, just 3 weeks until all hell breaks loose, eh? It would be great if I could discover what I could do to help them. Our thoughts and choices. Oh, there's Ashi and Yuda. The next day, Ashi and Yuda finally came back home. Ashi had a slightly swollen eyes, but her bright smile told me that everything was alright again between them. I'm home! Welcome home. I was so worried about you. Hey, what about me? I missed you too, but it's because of you that Ashi ran away in the first place, dummy. I stuck out my tongue at him and he flinched. So, have you come to your senses? Granny, how many times do I have to tell you not to get up from your bed? I am fine. Currently, this foolish child of mine is more important. Yuda stiffened when Granny's eyes fell upon him. He took a moment to straighten his back and held his head high before replying. You don't have to worry. I get it now, Mother. It was the first time I heard him call Granny Sukuma Mother. That one word alone showed how solemn he voiced it. Told me how much respect he held for the older woman. After observing her son with sharp, trained eyes for a few moments, she finally smiled and patted Yuda's right wing approvingly before walking back inside the house. I smiled broadly at both of them. Yuda had a faint blush on his face, but it didn't last long. I better go and check on Mitra. He must be buried by work by now. Right, and don't forget to invite him back for dinner. Of course. I let out a sigh and turned away when Yuda gently placed his forehead onto Ashi's. When they were finished trading words of affection, Yuda waved a hand at me farewell, and I returned his gesture. Both of them watching us as his figure melted into the crowd. I'm glad to be back. Me too. Yeah, this music's good. I hated the silence from before. I could actually cook now. Whoa. Later that night, Rexa was invited to eat dinner with us. He was still easy to tire, but the others thought it might be a good idea to know this mysterious Komodo friend of mine as soon as possible. Especially Yuda, surprisingly. He was so shocked to find out that a Komodo helped out his wife. Rexa also thought it was necessary, so I helped walking home to the dining room and sat right beside him. Oh, the awkward dinner table seats. Whoa! I appreciate your hospitality. Oh, it's nothing much. Please take it as a thank you for saving me. My name is Rexa, son of Silva and Mutaria, from the Nutar tribe. Woo! Hopefully I said that right. Pleased to make your acquaintance. After Rexa was done with his formal introduction, the others nodded and told him their names one by one. I could have sworn that Granny looked at Rexa almost fondly when he heard the name of Silva. Ooh, Granny! But it might just be my imagination. Of course it isn't. Ashi smiled warmly before offering him a plate of sizzling meat marinated with soy sauce. They have soy sauce here? Yeah. A plate of rice covered in banana leaf. Rexa received the rice first before taking some of the meat with his bare hand. He looked very interested and inhaled the enticing aroma deeply before taking a first bite. Mitra, Yuta, and Granny Sukuma watched him carefully as he chewed. This is awkward. After a few moments, Rexa's emerald eyes widened. He took another bite of the meat along with the rice this time. This is good. Definitely better than your grilled fish. Okay, Rexa. Do you have to mention that? The twerp did what? I groaned when a amused glint appeared and danced within Yuta's eyes. Rexa began to retell my embarrassing story despite how many times I pinched his leg below the table. Wow, Rexa. Can't believe you. Damn him and his steel skin. I know where this is going. Psh. Ha 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 ha. My best laughing voice. That's what you got for letting a kid cook on her own. Hey, I'm not a kid. I just can't help it, okay? That was my first time grilling a fish. Even so... Psh. Not you too, Ashy. I thought you were my friend. I'm sorry. But I have to admit, it was a bit adorable in a way. Only you would say that adorable, Mitra. Rexa suddenly growled very low in his throat and that I could barely hear it. What's up with him? I am the only one who's supposed to be mad. Yuta wouldn't let this go for a long time, and I knew it. I grumbled under my breath and threw my angriest, coldest glare at Rexa. Why are you squinting? I'm glaring at you, goddammit. Yuta burst out laughing again. He was now quaffing like there was no tomorrow. Even Mitra and Ashy laughed openly now. I looked at Granny Sukuma, but she only smiled and shook her head at me. Aw, Granny. I could only sit there and pout. Rexa looked relaxed, which was a good thing, but hell. Why didn't he have to mention my embarrassing cooking skills? A few agonizing minutes later, everyone finally regained their composure again. Haha, alright. Can we get back to our main topic? This is not why I came for dinner. Rexa, are you sure you want to be a part of this? Rexa nodded firmly. Mitra turned his eyes on me, and when I didn't flinch, he nodded once before proceeding. I don't know if Rexas can actually do it. Our preparations are going well, but it was slower than I expected. Mitra pulled out an old map, very much like the one I had. It looks exactly like... But fortunately, we managed to reinforce our defenses around Luma. They should hold until we finish our preparations for a counterattack. Our goal is to destroy the blue crystal. I was thinking about a distraction and an infiltration tactic. When the majority of our forces attack from the front, a smaller force would sneak from behind to go and destroy the blue crystal. The blue crystal is right in the middle of the village. Oh, that huge crystal? Mitra and Yuta looked at each other before returning their eyes to both of us. Are you sure? Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. Why are you telling this to us? It's hard to believe you're betraying your tribe for us. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for my father. What do you mean? If the blue crystal is destroyed, the effect from the purple crystal might stop. How did you... It was so obvious! How could anyone not know this? I know your priorities, Prince Rexa. He doesn't seem like a prince to me. Rexa is just fine. Yuta eyed the interaction between them with sharp eyes. He might still be suspicious of Rexa, and that made me nervous. No offense, but isn't this kind of simple? The Komodos have less warriors than us. If we could bring all of them up front, then there shouldn't be a problem with this plan. Besides, the Komodo are probably too confident with their power right now, since they managed to pull off that ambush. Don't worry, Granny. We're not planning to demolish the Komodo tribe. As soon as the blue crystal is destroyed, there will be no reason for us to fight anymore. That's what you think, Mitra, but I think not. Granny sighed in relief upon hearing Mitra. But how do we sneak... Oh, whoops, forgot my high-pitched voice. But how do we sneak in from behind? The mountains are blocking the way, and if you flew above the sea, they would immediately spot you. I thought about that, and I sent out a survey group in advance. It was a hard task, but a spy reported to me yesterday that he found a secret route. Really? Yes, there's a cave behind Hakuna Falls. It has a tunnel which is connected to the Komodo's village. Whoa, really? Are you sure it's safe? They even said the Komodos didn't know the tunnels existed. What do you think, Granny? I think it's a good idea, and if I might be so bold, what are the chances for this plan to work? Judging by the morale of our warriors and preparations, I'd say we have a fair chance. Even if the Komodos have those explosives, they shouldn't be too effective now that our warriors know how they work. We've got more men too. The warriors and I will definitely fight our hardest until the smaller force accomplishes the goal. Granny's smile was somehow bitter. Then there's only one problem. Right. Oh, that. Destroying the crystal. Troubled expression took place on their faces at the same time. What is it? We don't know how to break the blue crystal. The goddess created it to be unbreakable after all. Wait, what the hell? Wow, goddess, you're pretty bad at stuff. And I think I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And bye, guys.